one of the big rules of warfare is an enemy with his back against the wall is one of the most dangerous enemies in the world. And that's where Darren Till is right now. A lot of people are saying Darren Till is, this is not a big fight for him, this is a big fight for me. That is true in terms of, if you go on paper, this is by far my biggest opponent yet. And like the one before that, and the one before that, and the one before that. That's because I'm winning fights and climbing the ladder. Darren Till has been climbing the ladder a bit backwards. So Darren Till has his back up against the wall. If he loses this fight, and he will lose this fight, Darren Till is 1-5 in his last 6. That's not good. That puts one of the biggest names in the sport at the moment in MMA, in the MMA world, at risk of being cut from the UFC.
Yeah.
So if you think there's pressure on me, you should imagine the pressure that's on Darren Till. Because the UFC is looking at me saying, listen, this guy is impressive. He's been doing good stuff. Let's put him up against a real test. Darren Till has not been looking up to par. He's not looking up, but he says he's coming back with vengeance. And let's give him this guy that's almost, there's a mystery to me in the UFC. People don't know my style. They don't know, they haven't seen this before. So let's put him up against this guy and see if this guy's a real deal, or whether we should still give him a few more fights before he fights into that big top 10. And for Darren, it's sink or swim. If he loses to this guy that just entered the rankings, what are we going to do with him? Let's get him out of here. But if he wins, maybe we'll give him another shot. So if you listen to that, for me, the pressure is on him. And my pressure, that's if you look from the outside view. For me, there's always pressure on me. Because every fight, I need to win. Every fight is a world championship fight for me. But what makes Darren Till so good is the fact that his back is up against the wall and he doesn't really have another choice other than coming out and putting up an amazing performance. That being said, he does not know what I'm willing to go through to win this fight. He does not know what I have gone through to be where I am. He does not know that I'm willing to kill in there, and he does not know that I'm willing to die in there. Whichever it takes. And that makes me even more dangerous than a man with his back up against the wall. Another thing, the more technical aspect of it, that's all the mental aspect, is the fact that Darren Till, he has very good timing in his shots. He has very good distance control. He's a southpaw, which is always a big advantage. I'm a switch fighter, so it doesn't really matter. Where with Darren Till, he has power in his punches. I don't believe it, by the way, he has the same amount of power that he did at welterweight. We've seen him out of shape in the cage, but even out of shape, he went for 3 rounds with guys that were really putting pressure on him. He has the heart of a fighter, and I have no doubt in my mind that Darren Till is a brilliant fighter. He's a good fighter. He has good takedown defense when he's up against the cage. He's been working with Kamzat, so I assume his wrestling has gotten better. He knows how to defend on the ground. But in his striking, he has very, very odd movement. He has good kicks, good strikes. He has that karate base with the Muay Thai strikes. So Darren Till has fought for the belt, and he was there, and he deserved to be there. So yeah, he brings that experience in the octagon. I think Darren Till only has 3 or 4 more fights than me, but in the UFC, he has quite a bit more fight. So he brings that. But then again, he was in the cage for the past 2.5 years. So there's a lot of pros and cons for both of us in this fight. There's a lot of advantages for him, and disadvantages for me. At the end of the day, it's going to come down to who wants this more. And I can promise you, no matter how bad Darren Till thinks he wants this, once they close that gate and that bell rings, he's going to realize he doesn't want it as bad as I do.